Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So nice to see you. Oh, okay. So we're gonna continue our meditations today. Yeah, Monday we meditated on the sufferings of, human life. Why is it important for us to meditate on the suffering of human life? So we actually can make sure that we are using our times wisely and not get caught, into day-to-day things, thinking that they're gonna really give us permanent happiness, because that's what we are looking for. We are looking for permanent in impermanent things. So I think that we are not very smart sometimes. I'm sorry to say that. So today we're going to meditate a little bit more about sufferings, because what we are trying to develop here is really an understanding that as long as we are under the influence of these negative and wrong mindsets, we're always going to suffer, right? So if I'm looking for permanence in things that are impermanent, I'm always going to suffer. If I'm looking for, happiness in things that are also impermanent, I will never be happy, right? So it's just to start really recognizing that the fault is not in the object, in the person, in the situation, in the job, in the country. It's actually our perceptions and our projections, our wrong views in relation to it. Yes, makes sense? So we need to really understand that and kind of like create it. That's why we meditate on that, because meditation is familiarization. So we are familiarizing ourselves with that. And when we get this conclusion, we kind of like, we listen to the blah, blah, blah of Kalden, you read, you do things, and then you start to really get an idea that like, maybe it is like that. Maybe it's true. Maybe I am the one creating this. And then you contemplate on that, you contemplate. And when we come here to meditate, what we're trying to do is that we are trying to reach that conclusion, right? Of like, oh, yes, what we call the insight, to have that insight. So that's why we need to kind of like have a very calm mind. So when we make the analytical meditation, we are kind of like really trying to understand it, kind of like, oh, yes, makes sense. Oh, yeah, of course, it's me. I can see it's me doing that. And then you have that realization. Then you use the calmness of the mind to stay with that understanding, to stay with that realization, right? And that is staying with is the more we stay with that conclusion, with that realization, the more that starts to become second nature to us. So we don't need to think anymore. So when I stop, when I see myself doing, I already immediately know, oh, it's me. Boom, disappears. So then we go until we don't do it anymore. We don't project anymore permanent and impermanent things, outside happiness, pleasures as inside happiness. It's gone. That is the idea. Okay? Makes sense? Okay, enough of blah, blah, blah. Let's meditate. So we try to find a comfortable posture, reminding ourselves that we have different bodies, we have our own unique bodies. So try to be gentle with your body, finding your posture, but not too gentle that will make you sleep or focus the attention into the body. Because if there's something in the body that is painful, we cannot go inside and look into our minds. So try to keep the spine as straight as possible if you can, but relaxed. Shoulders, arms relaxed. jaw, facial expressions relaxed. And eyes slightly open if we are tired. If it is easier for us to concentrate, we can close the eyes. Try to stabilize your posture. And now shift the focus from your body to your inner experiences. Checking in with you right here, right now. How are you? How is your mood, your feelings, emotions? But just observe. Don't get caught in stories. And especially start to think, why are you here? What is your intention? Your motivation for being here? Buddhism will say that whatever it is, our motivation, it has two components. We want to be happy and we don't want to suffer. So try to check if your motivation has, or if you can recognize these two components in your own motivation. And if that is true, that we want to be happy and not suffer, then we have to really be honest with ourselves that we have been trying to achieve this. And sometimes we get some type of pleasures or satisfaction, but not a lasting type of happiness. And sometimes we are free from suffering, but sometimes we are in a very dark hole. So that's the reason why we are here meditating, because we want to learn tools. We want to learn a path, a method that will help us develop, train into really achieving a lasting, peaceful happiness and a completely elimination of our own suffering. In order to do that, we need to understand our minds, how we transform it, what is creating the causes of this suffering, and how we can create the right causes for the happiness that we want. And if the Buddhist assumption that we all want to be happy and not suffer, it's equal to everybody, then if we achieve that, we can help others to also achieve it. So we do it for also thinking about and benefiting others. So to do that, we start by bringing the attention to our breath. Observing the sensations of the air coming in and out through our nostrils. We don't change the way we breathe in and out, we just observe it, focusing our minds on that. And every time we realize that we lost the focus and we're focusing on something else, a sound, an idea, and a thought, we let it go. Let it go, the attention from it, and bring the attention back to the breath again and again. So let's do for a few minutes. Again and again, bringing the attention to the breath. Now that we concentrated and stabilized a little bit more our mind, we can use it as a basis for our analysis. And the moment that we come to a conclusion, we try to use that concentration to fix our mind into that conclusion. So we can start by realizing that no matter how hard we've been really trying to find happiness and find ways to stop our suffering, we are constantly going through these ups and downs. And we can just think about our own lives. We are changing status or changing ups and downs all the time. Sometimes we are rich, sometimes we are poor, sometimes we are respected, sometimes people ignore us. Think about it in your own life, how many times you have been up and down in different aspects of it. And recognize that this constant up and down creates dissatisfaction and suffering for you. Think about it for a moment. So we can see we are always trying to look for certainty, for security, for stability in our lives. We try to look for financial security or security in our relationships. Think about it, there are financial crises. We broke up with our loved ones. There can be accidents. There can be diseases. And there can even be earthquakes, hurricanes. So where is this security, this certainty, this stability? Think about it, how we are constantly looking for something that is not possible to have. Try to check in your life what type of certainties, securities, and stabilities are you looking for? We can try to reduce the risks, but we can never completely eliminate the uncertainty, the insecurity, the instability. And even when we have, strong risk, we are very confident about something, and we get what we want, we are never satisfied. We are never satisfied with what we do, with what we have, with who we are. We always want more and better. Check right now in your own life how dissatisfaction is pervading aspects of your life. So as we can see, we are always dissatisfied with what we have and what we do because we are always looking for certainty, security, when it's not possible. So then we use our lives, we chase those things again and again. But guess what? Life ends before we finished accomplishing it. And that makes us then want to reborn again to continue. That makes that wish to, I haven't finished yet. Finding certainty, finding satisfaction. So that makes us die and be reborn again and again and again and again. Always looking for it. Always having different plans on how to achieve that, but never finding it. So take a moment to contemplate that. Not only in this life, but life after life after life. If we don't change our habitual patterns, they are just going to continue with us in the next life. Think about it for a moment. even if you think that we are trying to achieve this, but in the way that we are trying to achieve it, we are at least sharing, having family, friends, and people around us. But actually, that feeling of dissatisfaction, that feeling of never finding certainty and security, that suffering, we actually undergo it alone. No one can experience it for us. That feeling of dissatisfaction, it's experiencing, our experience by ourselves. We're completely lonely in that. We can't share, and nobody can fulfill it for us. So it doesn't matter who we are with, in which life we are with. It's always going to be that feeling of undergoing suffering alone. Think about it for a moment. So come to the conclusion that as long as we continue with these wrong views and these sufferings, it doesn't matter. We will continue to suffer in this life and all future lives. So generate a strong wish to want to be free from it. Free from these wrong views. And find freedom from them. Try to generate this for a moment to come and reach this conclusion. And with that conclusion, then we dedicate that we can use all of our experiences in our daily lives to see and check our never satisfied mindset, our looking for certainty and security, our ever-changing status, our suffering, undergoing our suffering alone, and therefore wanting to transform our experience for a mind of love, kindness, and compassion and wisdom, not only for ourselves, but for others. So we dedicate for that. And we can release our posture, relax it, open our eyes. And smile, not thinking that we are, as I always say, these meditations, they are wonderful wake-up calls because they are the exactly answer to what we are looking for. I always say, if we are here, it's because we have been looking for happiness and ways to find that happiness in this absence of suffering. But we unfortunately have been looking in the wrong ways. So looking to these meditation and what we just said, so profound. Then we can start looking and finding the path. Okay? Have a wonderful day. See you for the European people. I see you today at 7 p.m. European time. And I see you tomorrow for the American people. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.